What's up, everybody? I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'll be breaking down our main event for UFC Fight Night Winnipeg. In this one, we have Gilbert Burns taking on proper Mike Malott. This is one of those fights where honestly the matchmaking just kind of tells the story. You have a veteran on the decline in Gilbert Burns, a rising contender on a streak in Mike Malott, and basically an established name versus sort of a homegrown push, right? Mike Malott versus Gilbert Burns. Honestly, it's a main event that nobody's like saying, "Oh man, this is gonna fill up the seats." Really, at best, this fight probably should have been like the co-main of a fight night. In fact, I've heard like say take Sean O'Malley versus Amin Zahabi and put that as the main event on this card. I understand the complaints, I do, but at the same time, I get what the UFC is doing. You know, the UFC is clearly trying to make Mike Malott the next Canadian star. I don't think he will be that big, or he definitely won't be as big as GSP, but I do get what the UFC is trying to do with this matchup, so I don't hate it. It should still be a good fight. I mean, I'm never really bored by a Gilbert Burns fight, so for what it's worth, I'm curious to see how it all goes and see if Burns is even more washed than what I might think he is. But that said, let's get down to the breakdown, as we kind of already know the careers of these two right now. Starting with Gilbert Burns. On paper, the losing streak looks bad, right? Gilbert Burns has not won a fight since he defeated Jorge Masvidal 3 years ago. He's since then been on a 4-fight skid, losing to Bilal Muhammad, Jack Della Maddalena, Sean Brady, and Michael Morales. But you really think about it, right? He has lost to 2 champions and then 2 top contenders. You could argue, Michael Morales might be a future champion, but still, it's not like Gilbert Burns is getting exposed by like mid-tier guys. He's not losing to the Neil Magny's of the welterweight division. He's only losing to the absolute best fighters in the world. And, for what it's worth, it does seem like Burns, like I say, he'd probably past his prime. He is 39 years old. And it's kind of shown in his skill set, as there has seemed to be some degradation to his skill set. Now, looking at that said skill set, starting with the grappling, Burns is still, in my opinion, one of the best grapplers in the division. Elite Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, excellent positional control. You saw, he was winning the fight against Jack Della Maddalena with good positional Jiu-Jitsu, like the cradle, for example. It's just he got caught coming in with a knee and eventually led to the finish in a strong top game. A lot of Burns' grappling is more so control over submission or position over submission, but he does still have excellent arm bars. That's probably Gilbert Burns' best submission, or the way he was able to easily slide from full mount to side control to get the arm triangle on Neil Magny. Absolute poetry. Still absolutely dangerous. And Burns, for what it's worth, he can still hold position, wear down opponents, and control rounds. Even now, that type of skill set hasn't left him. You saw he was able to more or less handle Sean Brady on the ground, and by that I mean not get dominated by him, and even sometimes reverse positions. Now, for the striking, that's where things get tricky, because Burns, at least in his prime anyway, his striking was a lot more explosive, more dynamic, and definitely athletic. A lot of Burns' striking relied on his explosiveness, that sort of in and out and movement. He dropped Khamzat Chimaev and still probably gave Khamzat his toughest fight to date. But now it's a lot more basic, a lot more reliant on the overhands, less setups on his strikes, and just more predictable entries. Honestly, Burns' striking used to be much more elite, had a lot more craft to it, but as he's gotten older, it's a lot more basic. Like I said, he's kind of turned more or less into an overhand merchant. And at 39, the athleticism that made that style work, it's just been fading. It's faded. You've seen it. And now, durability, that's where the biggest concern comes in. Because Burns, he's taken a lot of damage. He's been in a lot of wars. Been dropped multiple times. Jack Della finished him. Sean Brady, okay, I wouldn't say dropped him, but definitely hurt him, I think. And Michael Morales finished him in a round. Granted, Michael Morales is a weight bully. He's really a middleweight, or hell, light heavyweight in there. But so you've seen the decline of Gilbert Burns' chin. He never really had a great chin to begin with. I've seen jabs drop this guy, like against Kamaru Usman. But I think it's gotten worse with over time, especially at a division like welterweight. That's a dangerous trend. Now, look at Mike Malott. he's built a pretty good win streak right now. Since losing to Neil Magny, which I think that's what most people remember him as, he's won on a nice 3-fight win streak. Beat Trevin Giles, beat Charles Radke, beat Mike Malott. Beat Kevin Holland. He's not beating anybody elite. In fact, if I look over his resume, I would say Kevin Holland is the best guy Mike Malott has beaten. I mean, certainly doesn't hold a candle to who Burns has been in, even at this stage. But more importantly, he's looked good while doing it. I will say I do get the other thing is like the Kevin Holland win definitely is muddled for me due to the constant low blows. But Charles Radke win was nice. And while the fight was boring, he did get a good win against Trevin Giles. For Malott's striking, it's a lot more precise than Burns, especially in this matchup. Cleaner combinations, better shot selection, more composed. Where Burns is explosive, Malott is surgical. It's kind of like a hammer versus scalpel type of matchup, I think. Not in the grappling, but for sure in the striking. Malott doesn't waste movement. He doesn't rush exchanges. He's very good at picking his shots. Grappling, Malott, like I said, he's no slouch there either. He's got solid grappling to him. He's actually also competed in grappling. And if I'm not mistaken, he either trains or is also a coach with Team Alpha Male. So he's worked on his grappling extensively, especially that guillotine, which is probably Mike Malott's best submission, and very good awareness in the scrambles. Now, he's not on the level of Burns overall, but I think Malott's good enough to defend, survive, and get back to the feet, which is really, I think, all he needs to win. Now, looking at it stylistically, you do have an explosive veteran versus a composed technician. Because for Gilbert Burns, he's going to want explosive entries, grappling exchanges, and just making this more physical fight than it is a technique-based fight, or brawn over technique, however you want to describe it. For Malott, he's going to want more clean striking, control of the pace, and to punish mistakes. The key questions here, although this fight has 3 key questions. 1, can Gilbert Burns still impose his grappling? I mean, if Burns gets top position early and often, he can absolutely win this fight. And that path to victory is still, I think, live in this fight. 2, can Malott avoid extended grappling? Like, if Malott can defend takedowns, scramble up quickly, and keep this fight standing, the fight is going to swing in his favor. And last but not least, durability versus precision. I think this is the big question. Burns' durability has been on decline. Malott is a precise striker. And that's not a good combination for Gilbert Burns. So overall, I can see this fight playing out like this. Like early on, Burns is going to be dangerous, strong, explosive, and still capable of hurting opponents. But I think as the fight goes on, his entries are going to become more predictable. His durability is going to become a factor, and his pace is going to slow down. Now, I think he has better cardio than Mike Malott because he's been in 5 rounds or more. But I think this new Mike Malott, who doesn't gas himself out going for the finish, is going to do a better job at staying composed, picking his shots, and even building momentum towards him. So for my final assessment, if I'm being honest, if this was prime versus prime, Gilbert Burns would probably win this fight. I wouldn't say it's easy, but he should beat a fighter like Mike Malott. But this isn't prime Burns. It's now a 39-year-old fighter on a 4-fight skid with durability concerns against a younger, fresher opponent. Granted, Mike Malott's not that young. He is 34, but still young enough. More precise of a striker, and just enough grappling to survive and probably get up. So, for my official prediction, I'm going to go with Mike Malott here. I'm going to pick him via knockout. I think he keeps the fight standing, avoids any prolonged grappling, and eventually catches Burns clean on the chin. I will say, though, I do get that there is sort of, not a curse per se, but like a lot of underdogs in main events specifically have been winning. So if Gilbert Burns wins this, shoot, I might just pick the next underdog on the next card. I might pick whoever's the underdog. I really will. But no, I don't think it. I do think Mike Malott should win this fight. So once again, I'm picking Mike Malott, and I'm going to pick him via knockout. But with that being said, that's been my breakdown of this matchup. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below on who you think's going to win. Until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. Remember, stay calm, stay respectful, and enjoy the violence. I'll see y'all next time.